So here's a real short story about another wife who thought proposing an open marriage, polyamorous marriage, whatever you want to call it, was a great idea, would work out in her favor. And shocker, shocker, it does not. And justice is served. However, let me tell you, her husband here, you can see why she married him and why she chose the whole thing. And you want to smack him, but eventually he learns. Titled, I left our poly marriage for my close friend. And a shout out to Thom for sending me this story. He says, I'm 30 years old and she's 33. We were married for 5 years and together for 8. Okay, so they got together when he was 22 and she was 25. So right at the time, think about it, she's 25. This is important. College is over, maybe got her degree. Now she's looking for a husband, a nice guy, beta male provider who she knows she can have her way with. Here we go. At some point in our marriage, my wife asked if I'd be open to having a polyamorous relationship. She'd been planning that for years. I wanted to say no, but I was afraid of being labeled as insecure and losing her. Smack, smack, smack. What the hell is the matter with you? Afraid of being labeled something? Who cares if you're labeled something? Who cares if you're labeled insecure? What? You're insecure? You're insecure? It's a bad thing to be bothered by your wife wanting to go hook up with other dudes? Really? And afraid of losing her? You already lost her. You never had her. Even when you started dating, you never had her. She had polyamorous relationships previously, had much more experience than me sexually. Shocker. And you married a gal that did all this. Please tell me that you didn't know about this before getting married. But if you knew she was into that lifestyle, married her anyway, that tells me everything. That this guy wasn't getting girls, and this pretty girl paid attention to him, and he's like, this is the only girl I'm going to get, so I'm going to just marry her, and she'll be different with me. Nope. She was my first and only partner. And you're probably her 165th partner. We had an extensive preparation period, reading books, going to therapy, and communicating. I thought I was ready, but apparently I was not. Of course you weren't. It's not what you wanted. No fucking man would ever want this unless both of them came into the relationship with this lifestyle. But she knew. She knew you wouldn't go away. She knew she had your number when she married you. I wasn't even confident that I could find partners. Well, then you're not going to find partners. She did it easily through dating apps, and I got 0 matches. Dude, she had people lined up before she even brought this up. I communicated to her. We took good pictures and changed our profile according to her comments. And in the end, I still got no dates, though matched with a few people. Bro, no woman's going to want to go out with a weak-ass guy like you. They'll marry a weak-ass guy like you so you can provide, and then this will happen. But date you? No. We had several boundaries in the relationship. Always use protection. Always prioritize each other over other partners. No SCX in our bed. No friends. And don't get into a relationship with people we both know. Yeah, and I'm willing to bet you she laid out most of all these rules and everything, but knowing darn well you weren't going to meet anybody. But made clear saying no friends or anything like that. I must give it to her that if I were a poly person, she'd be a great partner. She regularly checked in and communicated with me, but I couldn't do the same. I couldn't be honest. Yeah, she always checked in with you. Just to let you know, I'm going to be a little late tonight because I'm spending some extra time with Tyrone's you-know-what in my mouth. Love you, honey. And he's like, don't forget the cannoli. Over time, I started building resentment, which I kept to myself. Because you were a pussy. Men speak up for themselves and stand up for themselves. At the time, I started talking about it and drinking with one of my female friends, a 30-year-old female. We didn't spend much time together back then. We shared some hobbies, but talked to each other maybe every other week. That drinking and discussion time we had together was the only thing that was supporting me. She was listening to me, validating my feelings, and being a shoulder I can lean on. More like a shoulder to cry on. This girl's probably like, my God, this guy's a whiny crybaby. And yet, we didn't have SCX, but it turned into a strong emotional connection, which we later confirmed as love. That kept up for a while until I realized I don't want to be together with my wife anymore. Good, brother. Good. Now act upon it. You have it in you. We know it. I had a discussion with my wife about ending the marriage. She was shocked because I didn't communicate previously about anything before and just dumped my feelings at her at once. What if you communicated your feelings that you didn't want to do this? Do you think it would have mattered, really? So she's making you out to be the bad guy because not communicating your feelings, and she's so shocked. What a load of crap. She knows darn well she had your number when you started dating, that you weren't the guy that's going to be into this lifestyle. Bullshit. She's full of crap. She called for closing the marriage and going to a counselor to focus on ourselves. Oh, now she wants to close the marriage and just be the two of you when she realizes that her gravy train is soon ending. How convenient. I rejected it and in the end and filed for divorce. Good job, bro. I'm proud of you. You're redeeming yourself. Good for you. It's about fucking time. She tried really hard to fix our relationship, but I didn't reciprocate any of her actions. Why would you? She doesn't love you. No wife that loves their husband would ever want to do this. And no wife will ever respect her husband who doesn't stand up for himself and all that. And if a woman doesn't respect you, she sure as hell ain't gonna love you. End of story, dude. I know I was unfair to my ex-wife. Smack. Just when I was starting to not totally want to smack you all the time, now I have to smack you again. Unfair? No, she's been unfair to you. Come on, bro. She'd make a great partner for a poly person, but I realize I am demisexual and monogamous. Okay, guys, what in the hell is demisexual or demisexual? I know I could Google it, but I will forget to do that by the time I go home and upload this. So you can tell me in the comment section what this term is. Once I connected with someone else, I completely lost connection with her. Well, that's usually how it works when you really connect with somebody. I cheated on her in the standard of polyamorous relationships. We're still together with my ex-close friend and going strong at it. I hope the future will be good, bring good things to us. So she actually manipulated this guy again to think that he cheated on her in the polyamorous way. In other words, yeah, it's okay for you to go hook up with other people physically, but if you have an emotional connection, that's a bad thing. Yeah, this whole poly thing is so healthy. Come on, bro. Well, good, you're going through the divorce process, and I'm glad you're with a girl that cares about you and listens to you and all that, but you keep acting like the way you've been, this girl who you think is so great is going to end up doing the same fucking thing to you. So you better be careful, my man. You're jumping in one relationship to the other, and maybe you need this relationship to help you move from this bad marriage on, to give you the strength to do so. Fair enough. But you should really be is on your own for a while. Do not marry this girl. Take your time and work on yourself. Dig down deep, instead of saying, figuring out why it is that you put up with this. Why didn't you just stand up for yourself and say, not happening? Even meant that you lost her, which, by the way, you did lose her. And understand that women don't respect strength. So if you're a pushover with your ex-wife, you're going to be a pushover for this girl, because I guarantee you, sooner or later, she's going to start testing you. And if you fail those tests, there'll be more tests, more BS, and you're going to be right back where you were. You got to work on yourself. Stand up for yourself. Be a freaking man. I know you got it in there somewhere. And start doing what you want to do and having some self-respect. I mean, you got to be a jerk. But there's nothing wrong with standing up for yourself, because if you don't, this is what you're going to get. And by the way, your wife knew exactly what she was getting into when she married you. Think about it. And also, why on earth did you marry the girl that you did, who had that very extensive experience before you? Probably because you didn't get a lot of attention from girls and thought this is the only one you're going to get. You work on yourself, you improve yourself, become the man you're born to be, and I guarantee you, you're going to have a lot more options out there, and you won't behave in the manner you've been. So you can turn it around, brother. You're 30 years old. Make me proud.